At 3:07 a.m., a student stares at the ceiling. Not scrolling. Not texting. Not scrolling TikTok. Just thinking. Restless. Yet strangely alert. Their mind is a storm of images, numbers, emotions, and possibilities. Future. Money. Identity. Fear. Success. A subtle rhythm pulses in their head, a dopamine spark for potential, not satisfaction. What if this restlessness isn't insomnia, but the first tremor of a global cognitive evolution? A shift so profound, historians in 2050 may call it the neurodigital era. This isn't just a generation problem. It's a human experiment unfolding live. For the first time in history, culture is not only taught. It is coded. Algorithms. Predictive feeds. Content designed to sculpt your attention and perception. The average Gen Z brain is undergoing subtle rewiring before conscious awareness. Neural circuits associated with novelty-seeking, pattern recognition, and rapid decision-making are strengthened, while circuits for sustained reflection, patience, and delayed gratification are underutilized. Philosophical lens. Are we creating tools, or are the tools quietly shaping us? Every notification, every short clip, every meme becomes a cognitive input. And Gen Z isn't just consuming. They are being sculpted, at scale, in real time. Retention hook. The most dangerous part? They don't even know it's happening. Brains are not static. They are clay, constantly molded by repetition, focus, and habit. Scroll, fast-twitch thinking. Deep reading, slow, deliberate reasoning. Rare neuroscience insight. Some studies show that frequent microcontent consumption increases prefrontal cortex to default mode network connectivity, enabling faster context switching. But there's a trade-off. Sustained, deep thought weakens, as these pathways remain underutilized. A student absorbs 50 TikTok videos in 30 minutes, summarizing trends, jokes, and lessons in milliseconds. But ask them to read a dense academic chapter? The same brain struggles to maintain attention beyond 12 minutes. Technology isn't just used. It reprograms the mind. Psychological lens. The brain is adapting, but adaptation without guidance is neuroplastic drift. A mind can be flexible yet shallow, fast but fragile. Experts are polarized. The critics say, declining attention spans reduced deep thinking, emotional volatility. The advocates say, faster learning, superior adaptation to change, heightened awareness of social, technological, and environmental cues. This isn't a generation failing, it's a transition phase, an evolutionary recalibration. Processing speed increases. Pattern recognition multiplies. Emotional granularity improves. But there's a paradox. Awareness rises, but control diminishes. Historically, post-war generations developed strength through endurance and suppression of emotion. Gen Z develops speed and awareness through engagement and stimulation. This is not decline. It's transformation. And the rules of the old world may not apply. Gen Z processes information differently. They excel at clip thinking, absorbing data in short bursts and extracting key insights almost instantly. Watch 50 videos in 30 minutes, synthesize ideas, jokes, trends, and lessons, yet struggle to read one academic chapter deeply. Clip thinking is not cognitive damage, it's a recalibration for high-frequency information environments. It strengthens parallel processing circuits in the prefrontal cortex. It weakens circuits for sustained deep reflection, creating a paradox: fast cognition, shallow endurance. Psychology insight. Humans are pattern recognition machines. Exposure to microcontent sharpens abstraction skills, but reduces tolerance for complexity. Cinematic example. A 19-year-old watches flashcards, short videos, memes, and news snippets simultaneously, absorbing trends faster than professors but struggling with classical literature. Clip thinking is speed without depth. The challenge: to convert this speed into sustainable intelligence. Philosophical note. The mind has always evolved to fit its environment. Post-industrial revolution, literacy rewired attention. Gen Z era, hyperdigital feeds rewiring executive function. Could this be the cognitive version of evolution, rather than decline? Your brain has limited attention bandwidth. It filters information based on novelty, emotion, reward, potential. Research insight. High exposure to rapid digital content increases novelty-seeking behavior, reduced tolerance for slow, repetitive tasks, shifts from sustained attention, scanning attention. Gen Z attention is reward prediction driven. Dopamine spikes occur when a new notification appears, a meme surprises expectation, a trending topic suddenly emerges. Neuroscientists call this cognitive reward bias. The brain prefers unpredictability over consistency, fundamentally changing learning strategies. Reading a 5-page textbook, brain flags low reward, attention wanes. Scrolling 10 headlines, each novelty triggers dopamine, attention spikes. Your brain is wired for uncertainty. Not boredom. Not laziness. But survival in an information-overloaded world. Historical parallel. Hunter-gatherers scan for threat, reward, attention burst. Gen Z scans digital landscapes, attention bursts. Trigger words for retention. Overstimulated. Dopamine is anticipation, not pleasure. You don't enjoy every video. You continue scrolling because the next one might be better. Rare expert insight. Gen Z has cultivated a future-oriented reward system. Optimized for potential over satisfaction, trains the brain to value uncertainty, not certainty. Encourages risk-taking, idea generation, and trend detection. Behavioral economics lens. This drives impulsive consumption. Attention becomes a resource sold to platforms. You provide engagement, they monetize. Brain adapts to uncertainty as the reward. Psychological example. Scroll may be interesting, dopamine spike, repeat next video, potential reward, attention resets. Brain develops a loop tuned to novelty. You're not addicted to content. You're addicted to uncertainty. Philosophical note. Millennial brains, dopamine tuned to achievement and long-term goals. Gen Z brains, dopamine tuned to micro-rewards and rapid evaluation. Implication. Creativity flourishes in rapid assessment environments. Execution and patience may suffer. Gen Z lives in constant stimulation. Notifications, reels, news, social interactions, simultaneously. Frequent digital exposure rewires amygdala prefrontal cortex connectivity, amplifying emotional reactivity and reducing recovery time after stresses. Negative comment, instant emotional spike. Next feed, dopamine reset, emotional shift, no time for reflection. Cognitive fatigue. Behavioral angle. This generation experiences a hyper-compressed emotional timeline, feeling everything quickly, but rarely processing deeply. Feeling everything, but understanding nothing. Past generations learned emotional regulation through hardship. Gen Z experiences emotional acceleration without anchoring, creating awareness without mastery. Cinematic detail. Slow motion close-up of a face reacting to a comment, then distracted by a trending clip, emotions fluctuating like a digital tide. Gen Z can name emotions better than any previous generation: anxiety, FOMO, microjoys, meme-based humor. High emotional literacy, low emotional endurance and control. Rare insight. Awareness increased, but control decreased. Hyperdigital brains amplify anterior insular activity, emotional awareness, but ventromedial prefrontal regulation, emotional control, lags behind. Psychological example. Feeling irritation, instant viral meme share relief, repeat emotional processing is outsourced to the feed. Emotions have become signals for engagement, not reflection. Past, emotions shaped identity and decision-making. Now, emotions shape attention and consumption. Gen Z feels faster than they reflect. They know the storm, but not how to sail it. Who are you? Online self, offline self, private self. Identity is now fluid, layered, performative. The meta-self develops awareness of multiple versions simultaneously. Modern identity equals curated performance. Historical contrast. Pre-digital generations had singular, role-driven identities. You don't live your identity, you edit it. Psychological insight. The editing process improves social intelligence and contextual adaptability but reduces internal coherence, leading to episodic identity fragmentation. A Gen Z teen crafts an Instagram story highlighting success, posts a meme to friends, and silently debates private anxiety, all within 10 minutes. Identity is no longer fixed, it's a skill to manage. Some will master it, high adaptability, some will fracture existential anxiety. Gen Z prefers freelancing, side hustles, independence. Raised during unstable economies, layoffs, and global crises, value autonomy over traditional security. Gig mindset reflects risk-adaptive cognition, reward circuits calibrated for uncertain income and novel opportunities. Dopamine anticipates potential multiple streams, not fixed outcomes. Behavioral example. Instead of one stable job, a Gen Z worker maintains freelance graphic design, TikTok content creation, Etsy store sales. Security is no longer trusted. Flexibility is survival. Philosophical angle. Past, identity intertwined with work and title. Gen Z, identity intertwined with projects, ideas, and adaptability. The gig mindset is not laziness, it is strategic diversification of effort, attention, and reward anticipation. Fear drives much of Gen Z behavior. Unlike previous generations, which were motivated largely by survival or achievement, Gen Z's psychological drivers are subtle, anticipatory, and digital. Key fear patterns. FOMO, fear of missing out, constant comparison to peers, influencers, and global trends. Fear of being average, anxiety triggered by metrics, grades, followers, engagement scores. Fear of irrelevance, concern that if they do not produce, innovate, or maintain visibility, they become invisible in digital and social spaces. Rare psychological insight. Gen Z is not merely chasing success, they are escaping invisibility. This drives hyperactive social engagement, continuous content creation, rapid adoption of new technologies. Economic perspective. Fear drives consumption of both information and goods. Platforms and brands exploit this by creating scarcity signals, trend urgency, and gamified interactions. The result is psychologically conditioned behavior, blending reward anticipation with fear avoidance. Historical contrast. Baby boomers, success motivated by long-term accumulation and societal milestones. Gen Z, success motivated by real-time visibility and digital social validation. Implication. Understanding this fear-driven mindset explains why Gen Z prefers rapid, flexible, and often entrepreneurial strategies over long-term traditional career paths. Attention has become a tangible economic asset. Every view, click, or scroll generates measurable value. Mechanics. Platforms monetize attention. Creators convert attention into income. Users provide attention without directly receiving value. Rare insight. Attention scarcity alters cognitive priorities. Higher sensitivity to novelty, reduced tolerance for monotony or slow content, greater reward response to microstimuli. Psychological and economic impact. Gen Z brains are conditioned to value immediate engagement. Decision-making favors short-term cognitive rewards over long-term payoff. Financial and career behaviors increasingly mimic attention management strategies. Historical analogy. 20th century print media monetized reader attention through ads. 21st century digital platforms monetize attention at mass scale, influencing neural pathways directly. Implication. Understanding attention as currency helps explain both digital behavior and emerging micro-entrepreneurial patterns in Gen Z, including side hustles, influencer culture, and gig economy participation. Parenting of Gen Z differs sharply from previous generations. Traditional parenting. Discipline-driven, strict boundaries, hardship, and delayed gratification emphasized. Modern parenting. Protective, emotionally aware, comfort-focused. The shift in parenting creates a resilience gap. Children are now more emotionally literate, but less practiced in enduring discomfort or failure. Overexposure to comfort reduces tolerance for frustration and delayed rewards. Protective parenting increases risk aversion, but also enhances self-reflective emotional intelligence. Implication. Gen Z demonstrates high awareness of personal well-being but may require deliberate training to develop long-term perseverance and patience. Economic consequence. Risk-averse yet opportunity-seeking behavior translates into preference for freelancing, micro-investments, and project-based work rather than hierarchical corporate roles. Gen Z can identify and articulate struggles but often struggles to endure them. Examples. Small failure triggers disproportionate emotional response. Slow progress leads to frustration or disengagement. Exposure to challenges is filtered through digital validation loops. Rare psychological insight. Resilience is not knowledge, it is experience-based adaptation. Comparative analysis. Post-war generations, resilience developed through survival, endurance, and suppression of emotion. Gen Z, resilience potential exists cognitively, but emotional endurance is weaker due to protective environments and digital buffering. Long-term implications. Innovation capacity is high due to cognitive flexibility. Execution capacity is limited without structured environments that train delayed gratification and frustration tolerance. Philosophical note. Awareness without endurance can create fragility in systems. Individuals and organizations may have ideas and knowledge but fail to sustain them under stress.